Wrestling Federation. For over 50 years, the revolutionary force in sports entertainment.
What's our name?
Well, men on the
Are you ready?
Well,
Here we go.
Welcome to the New Generation mission on the Backbone Wrestling Network. I'm Tim Slomka.
I'm JP.
Thanks again for joining us. As always, we're on the journey to relive the New Generation era, to find the best and the worst of a wrestling time period often forgotten. For Bret and Shawn Survivor Series 92 to Bret and Shawn Survivor Series 97, we look beyond the pay-per-views, examine the weekly TV, see what worked, what could have worked, and what failed. JP, how's life?
Pretty good, man. Pretty good. How you doing?
We're doing great. It's summer season, so it's time
Summer's
to live in
overrated.
Chicago. Well, it's way too hot for you guys. This is the perfect time for Chicago weather. So
Yeah, I
could
can't
not-
stand it. Oh my gosh.
I cannot complain. So it's perfect.
Yeah, it's been like 98 here, or when it's not 98, it's raining. 100% rain at 5 a.m. in the morning. So, yeah, it's like, that's the reasons why I hate summer. But
beautiful Chicago things. We'll talk less about the Chicago sports. The White Sox are right now on pace to the worst season ever. Cubs aren't doing much better.
couldn't be me. At least we ain't done.
Yeah, but just
No, I
atrocious.
know.
So I'll just enjoy the lake and stuff. So
Right.
and also enjoy some Bob Backlund and Dink the Clown. So
There you go.
Should we get on to some wrestling talk?
Yes, sir.
So here we are, the final build to Survivor Series 1994. We got a lot to go through. We just kind of jammed this all in here, just kind of keep it moving.
Mhm.
So we got Superstars, Action Zone, the Big Sunday Night Slam, and Raw. This is a unique Raw too. That it's the other Raws we watched in the lead up to pay-per-views have been just replays of like the Sunday Night Slam, but this one was actually a full show. So
Right.
kind of unique there. I don't just maybe their scheduling or something. It's kind of unique that they kind of ran with that.
I was surprised they did that for Survivor Series too, because that's like the lowest on the totem pole.
Yeah, it'd be an easy way
so-
to keep save some money from having to film an extra episode, but
Right.
instead they didn't do that. So I don't know. I read too the Sunday Night Slam ratings were pretty low. So that might be some of what we got going on here. So
Gotcha.
So this might be the last one. I'm not sure on that, but this might be the last Sunday Night Slam too.
Right.
We'll see. So we'll move on to Superstars. Do you want to cover our first match? This is 11-19. This is back from October 18th. And since you're a big Jim the Anvil guy,
Yeah. So
you know what? You take this. I will take all the Doink segments.
There you go.
of it.
So my first note is just to begin, this is Jim Neidhart versus the Undertaker. It opens the show. And my first note was in '94. This is a spotlight match. So this is what they thought we wanted, I guess. I don't know who. Like I get the whole Undertaker needs to wrestle like your tall guys, your fat guys, your freaks,
Fat
all that
guys.
stuff.
Well,
But
this is your fat
yeah.
guy. This
Yeah,
is a
yeah.
fat guy in Anvil.
this is a power jet guy. So it is just so weird how Anvil, like if you take out Owen's like main event, like take out his SummerSlam match, Anvil's almost been pushed more than Owen was, like to the like as far as like highlight matches throughout this whole run here. Like
Yep.
I just don't get it. I just do not understand the need for involving him this much. He should have just been a second to Owen, and that's it. So as far as the match goes, Anvil also actually gets a decent amount of this match. I know like they like to do the whole Undertaker gets beat on and then starts rising and stuff, but that was just sucky too because his offense is so slow and terrible. So Undertaker did kind of what he could with this, but the finish comes towards the end where like Anvil falls in the casket. Like the casket's open on ringside. Anvil kind of like falls into it, and then he freaks out and leaves. So Undertaker wins by default. But does it kind of kill the gimmick where every single person is like terrified of it? Like
Yeah.
like if you're trying to build this feud around a guy being scared of it, like Yoko has a phobia of caskets, so now everybody does. So Yoko's not really like he doesn't stand out. He's not that like okay, everybody's scared of him. Why do you care if Yoko's scared of him? Because even Power Gut Neidhart is scared of him as well. So I don't know. Shitty match, stupid ass match. I just don't get why they threw this together before Survivor Series to get us hyped for it, I guess. But yeah, just a waste of time in my book.
Yeah, I put maybe this sets up a feud. I'm wondering if like post Yoko, we know
Please don't
IRS
say
is going
that.
after. We know IRS is going after him. So, but we know
Right.
Yoko is going to the Fat Farm. So,
Yep.
maybe this is an Anvil take, but it's just weird. It makes no sense. It was a cool spot that Anvil did, where like just
Yeah.
falling into the casket, like that was kind of cool. And also Vince mentioned that Taker's never is undefeated in casket matches besides the Rumble one. So
Right.
I don't know how many casket matches they had, but it was kind of a funny comment. So yeah, like you said, kind of a random thing. It's rare we see Taker on TV though. So like that's kind of cool. Like how often do we see Taker on wrestling on TV? Like very rare. So cool of that, but just kind of weird with Neidhart's on that. So we'll move on to we get the IRS of the gravestone. So something we've always loved, just like when they come, we know they're gonna go Taker IRS.
Yeah.
They do the segment right after it. So good timing in between there. So I like that. Then we go into Adam Bomb. Awesome. I like Adam Bomb's entrance. He's got the fireworks. Like, he really looks cool. Pretty dominant. I think his moveset looks good. Like, I just don't get why this guy didn't get a bigger push. But it looks
probably
good.
backstage politics.
I think some of it is like he's got 4 or 5 like really strong looking moves, and then I think he does kind of fall apart on some of them, right? Like it's like after that he's kind of a little weak, right? Like his day-to-day fighting.
I think he was like easily bullied too. Like I know, I was listening to, I don't know if it was Conan's podcast recently. Like somebody said he had like an actual Adam Bomb tattoo, and that like everybody just shit on him for doing that, like calling him a mark.
Oh,
and
his own.
everything. So,
oh my god.
yeah.
That's
So he got like his own tattoo. Yeah. Of
wow.
Adam Bomb. So it's like, all right, buddy. Like I think he was buying into it, and they just kind of like mercilessly bullied him. So maybe. I don't know.
But he never gets going. He never gets going with Chronic either. It just seems like like he's got like 3 or 4, 5 moves of doom.
But you also got to think Nash is
true
like, high in the ranks. Like Nash is the one that ended his streak as Wrath, and he was hot.
Yeah,
he was crazy hot as Wrath. Yeah. Like in the, I don't know. I never got why he didn't get some kind of a run like at the top, because he was always.
He has a look, and he's got 3 or 4 moves, right? Like he's got those couple moves where they look good, but maybe it's just he can't go more than 5 minutes.
I compare him to Test.
Oh yes, yes.
Test was big. He could do some like impactful stuff. He wasn't great on the mic either, but he had like that physical charisma where he was like, you just wanted to watch him, I guess. So.
Yep. Good. And then we got and the only other thing I said, Bomb still looks good. And then I do like that King brings up that his biggest mistake of his life is breaking up with Harvey Whippleman, which is just hilarious to hear. So you want to get the next match? Or?
Yep. So we have a Jeff Jarrett squash, and his tights are back to being on point here. He was kind of going white there for a little bit, which was very disappointing.
Yeah.
So back to the colorful look from him. Then we also get a Razor squash, which this feels like, I like when they kind of like load the card up with guys that are going to be on the pay-per-view, like even if it's squash matches, just to kind of keep them in your mind's eye, I guess. Yep. And then like you're looking, like you have Taker, you have Jarrett, who's been a big deal. Adam Bomb, we haven't seen in a while, but he's kind of back on his face push, and then Razor.
And he's and Bomb is like in the main. Well, it's tough to tell what Survivor Series is, like the main events, but he's in the main Survivor Series match. Right. He's with Luger and the $1 Million Corporation, so you're kind of bringing up some big guns there.
Exactly. So then after the squash matches, we do get a Heartbreak Hotel with Bret Hart. So always nice to kind of like monitor the temperature when it's these two. Just to kind of see where it goes. And I feel like right now, like, it doesn't seem like there's any beef between them two. It just seems like
who, Shawn and Bret?
Just, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it just seems like there's some good like it seems like, I don't know, Bret has his spot, Shawn wants a spot.
A little bit, yeah.
I don't feel like it's like they hate each other yet. I feel like it's just like good nature character playing right now, Well,
the reason I was wondering is because I was like, they're trying to set up the Diesel versus I can't think of it. Shawn, right? That's why I was asking if you were saying about Bret, because I think they're trying to show that more, and it doesn't seem like Bret and Shawn are kind of intertwined.
No, I
anyway.
just mean, I just mean in real life. Like,
Yeah,
if
right.
anything
Yeah,
was
yeah.
playing over.
Yeah, it doesn't
like
feel
any
like it,
professional
yeah.
jealousy. Yeah, not
Yeah,
yet.
you don't
No.
see it. Yeah.
Right. You don't feel like it yet. So I like how, like, Shawn asked Bret like how the chicken wing feels, and then Bret
Yep.
goes to talk, and Shawn kind of cuts him off. So like this, where Bret's like the serious guy and Shawn's just like real playful and cuts him off, was kind of cool. This is like the Shawn I like. Like, this is starting to become the character I like with Shawn. Owen and Backlund come out to interrupt. So again, Owen is a second. Owen is just, shit on, and it's weird because, like, Bret does the whole Lost Generation thing again. So, like,
I love it.
that's, yeah, he like, and he does it with such, like, he's so emphatic about it too. Like, oh, I created this joke, and you're gonna hear this shit for at least a couple more weeks.
He was egging it on.
Yeah. So Backlund finally snaps too, which is cool. Like, it's plays into that character. So this match, it does have a little bit of steam on it now, like with all the moving parts, I think. Especially with, like, Shawn and Diesel kind of like in the background of it. Like, knowing what comes, it's hard not to pay attention to Diesel with this too. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought it was a decent Heartbreak Hotel. Like those, they haven't been that great lately, and I feel like this one was solid enough to build up the match.
Yeah, there was a lot going on. My first thought was that Diesel here doesn't look like a future champion. Like, he's clearly in the background, right? Like, this is clearly Shawn. He's a sidekick of Shawn. Maybe says 10 things, right? 10 words, maybe.
Right.
It is funny when Backlund and Owen show up that Bret and Bulldog are actually facing the wrong way. Like, their backs were to them, so, like, it was kind of silly that Backlund just didn't immediately put him in the chicken wing.
Right.
Backlund also loses his mind. Like, he starts screaming crazily. And actually, it plays really well in the promo package they do on Sunday Night Slam. Like, his, like, losing his mind, and even, like, Shawn is like, "All right, you're kind of crazy." So I feel like we've seen Backlund. He hasn't been that crazed like he was here. Like, he's been, like, chicken winging everyone, but it wasn't like the craze, like screaming and just making nonsense, I feel like. So this was maybe the start of it. We'll see if it keeps it up, where he has that. Also, sorry if I don't know if it's here. Somewhere Vince does say that maybe Backlund could run for president, because he keeps making a Bill Clinton joke throughout these episodes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And I don't know if it's here or somewhere else, but there were so many Clinton jokes from Vince. So I think he, like, said, "Oh, Backlund for president." And then he's like, "Oh, that sounds like a good idea." So it's kind of funny that he says that. And then we know Backlund, quote unquote, runs in 2 years.
Right.
So that was kind of funny. And then, yes, I wrote also the Lost Generation. You can't skip that joke. So it's a good play off of that, of what they're trying to do. So then we got King Kong Bundy, quick squash there, nothing too much. And then we get this Charlie Min video of Luna's wedding, which was really, oh God. It was like, okay, we're going to take it to a wedding back 19 days beforehand. So they just must have got this footage, or, like, I don't understand why they're showing this. I didn't notice any wrestlers. Now, maybe you did.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you saw some? Okay.
Her husband.
Oh, yeah. But no one else, right?
Yeah, no.
There was no, like, it wasn't like, oh, here's King Kong Bundy. Here's, like, it was like rando people. I mean, maybe
I don't know how. I don't know how many wrestlers are into, like, S&M and shit. Like,
yeah.
Like that whole scene was like, there's like a famous club in Tampa called the Castle that would, like, this is totally up its vibe. Like, it's the I don't know. Like, it looked like a biker reunion. Like, the way the wedding was, like, and I thought, like, I had a note here, like, this would have been like a perfect time to debut Gangrel with Luna, like, as a package. That would have been so cool, because she was so good with Bigelow, like, and now you just don't see her anymore. And Gangrel was a jobber there with the WWF, like, as one of the Phantoms or whatever. So, like, if you're gonna give the hell Aldo Montoya a shot, you can give Gangrel a shot. So
I was just like, I don't know what the point of this is. It must have been.
I didn't get it either. Yeah, I don't know.
It was very weird, because when it first came on, Charlie Min was, like, talking, like, what? Wait, what is going on here? Like,
right.
I'm losing my mind trying to figure out what the hell is going on. So, very, very, very bizarre. And that was kind of it. I don't know if you had anything else to add on the superstars.
No, I think we're good. As
Yes.
well, just the fact that that scene. If anybody wants to know anything about my personal life, like if you watch that, that is the place that I probably got babysat at when I was a little kid, when my parents were hanging out with like bikers and shit. Like, oh yeah, go hang out with this guy over here. He's
Gangrel.
fine. He's fine.
Mr.
Yeah,
Mr.
exactly.
Gangrel.
Like, Dad, why is this guy doing cocaine off the pool table back here? Like,
Don't
whatever,
ask questions.
So,
Don't ask questions.
Exactly. Just play your video game, damn it.
I was gonna say, you said that my growing up was the exact opposite. So
Yeah, yeah.
Parents barely. Oh, there's alcohol here. We better leave.
Yeah. two Americas. Two Americas.
Yes. All right. Anything else on that superstars?
Nope,
It was a little rougher of the superstars. Yeah. A lot of build to Survivor. We skip over a lot of the Todd. Like there was probably a 5-minute Todd thing, which is good, right? When you're really building up the card. So we just kind of skip over that. So we got X and Joan the next morning. This is on 11/20, we'll call it. So this is the same day as the Sunday Night Slam. This one's kind of all over the place where they filmed it from. But the main event match is from the Wrestling Challenge taping. So they kind of had different matches at different spots. We get Double J versus Fatu. Really random, but they do bring up that these two guys will be in Survivor Series together. So I like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Midway through the match, we also get Anvil and Owen coming down to the ring. I really like that part of like, hey, these are coming into
right.
Mid-match. It's a pretty short match when you get Todd Pettengill mocking Captain Lou Albano and Fatu's language. I won't even describe what he's doing, but definitely in 2024, not allowed.
Yeah, that was wild.
It was wild, right? And this isn't on the network, so it'll be right footage. But man, I don't think they can survive the network. I'm not all about cancel culture, but this was quite offensive.
Well, I'm surprised Vince didn't like edit this and put it on the network.
Yes, added to it. Yes,
yeah.
Yeah,
it
was a little rough. So we get a random win by Fatu. I put Double J as a bum at this time, like basically loses on nothing. Like Double J is just no credibility at this time. I do love how then the Anvil, Double J starts shoving Anvil. Owen's trying to set it up, and then you kind of get Diesel coming out, which is pretty cool. Like is the leader of the group.
Mm-hmm.
No Shawn Michaels here. And I love just in the background, all you hear is Owen and Diesel kind of, hey, we got to strive to survive and kind of all the standard Survivor Series quotes, but really good job by both of them. Like, hey guys, this is bigger than us. Like we got to work as a team. So a fun little match, random. We like this in 93, but these random Survivor Series kind of squashes and matches, and we'll see one later. Like I love this stuff. I thought it was well done. It doesn't really lead to anything. It just gives that like, hey, these guys are going to have a hard time getting together. So
well, I think like the main thing of this was Diesel was the one that came out to like restore order. Like he was the clear leader of the group. He was the guy that was going to wrangle everybody together and make sure they're all on the same page. So I think like that's what the purpose of this match was. And I think that worked. Like I think this was, how we were talking about Heartbreak Hotel. He doesn't look like a main eventer. He doesn't look like a player. This does a decent job of him, looking not quite like a star or anything yet, but at least a player in the game so far. So, so from there we get a Backlund squash, just a standard match from him. It's crazy how much he's involved in this scene. Like, it's not just like one feud and then he's out. Like he's wrestling all these squash matches. He's involved in a lot of I bet we've seen Bob Backlund on TV more this year than Bret Hart.
Oh yes, easily.
And that's just crazy I think in retrospect. So squash with him. Then we get a very random, like not random because of the Survivor Series, but cool combo of 1, 2, 3 Kid and British Bulldog versus some jobbers. So usually they
very random.
Yeah, usually they team these kind of guys up and have them face 2 other guys from the team, but they're also facing jobbers, so that's weird. Then Kid has some like red and blue tights this time, so I don't know if he was trying to kind of work off of Bulldog's color scheme or whatever, but cool little combo here, very random. They went with like the typical, random. They don't do too many like double team moves. Obviously, don't have the chemistry with this. Do like the Bulldog presses Kid up in the air and lands on the jobber and gets the win. So decent little squash there, nothing crazy. And then that's followed by a excruciatingly long Vince and Todd segment. Like They do not have chemistry at
Oh,
all.
it's bad.
Like they're sitting next to each other instead of Todd being backstage. Like
Which is where Todd works the best.
right, and it just kills the aesthetic. Like you're just seeing them sitting at the booth, and Vince is just laid back. Like, all right, do your thing, Todd. Like,
Yeah.
so yeah, a couple decent squashes followed by that terrible segment there.
Yes. Oops. I lost my notes. Sorry. I was on the history of WWE instead of my notes.
I got you.
Doink. Oh,
Yeah.
Sorry.
So yeah, we have a Diesel.
I got it.
After. Okay.
I got it. I could get it. Sorry. I was on history of WWE. I'm like, I can't find the next match because they're out of order. And I'm like, shoot. And then I'm like, where's my notes? But yeah, the random team of Kid and Bulldog is cool. But
right.
it's nothing. I don't know if they'll ever team again. This could be a one and done. So I'm not sure.
It was cool. I just never pictured those two ever teaming up. Like it was very off-putting, I guess.
Yeah, and throughout this whole episode, there's only 4 matches on here, limited because they do a lot of some Survivor Series previews and also Sunday Night Slam previews. So they really build up Sunday Night Slam. But we get Doink in one of the worst matches of all time.
Yes.
Not gonna lie. Doink brings out a box, and then they say it's Dink's in the box, which is pretty funny. All of them come out. Dink is in the ring the whole time, so it's a pure comedy match where there's no actual in-ring. It's the classic bite him on the butt, chase him around. Doink does one on a whoopee cushion. His whoopee cushion is actually pretty impressive. He gets up.
Yeah, I like that.
I like
that move.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool move, but he lands on the guy flush. I don't know how that doesn't hurt, right? I can kind of understand how Yoko the Bonsai kind of puts his weight off, but I don't understand how midair you cannot, you don't fall on the guy. Even the guy's falling with you.
Who else? Didn't Jacques and Pierre?
Jacques was it?
Jacques,
Pierre.
The Rougeau brothers, right?
Yeah, right, yeah.
They did something like that too.
Yeah, there's been some other guys, but he gets real good air.
He does.
It's good air, but everything else is terrible. I do love in this match that Vince brings up. This is where they start dropping their current events. That Snoop Dogg was going to give anyone $1 million to out-rap him, and Vince in the serious voice says, "Well, of course Oscar would smoke him." In all seriousness, it just shows you it was literally it was just Todd was okay, that's nonsense. Todd and Vince love this match. They are giggling and just the short jokes the whole time. And that's I do have the whoopee cushion with the nice move. And then as we go out the door, Charlie Min is kind of at the ringside with them with Todd and Vince. And he's so pumped for his first pay-per-view. And then I put in my notes, I've got some bad news for you, Charlie Min. He'll be first and last. So
thank God.
They kind of sell off and kind of really push on the Sunday Night Slam. I don't know if you had anything else to add.
No.
That was rough.
Yeah, it's between that and the Todd and Vince that just kind of drowned it out for me.
Lack of chemistry, yes.
Right.
Great.
So
Sunday Night Slam, you want to go first?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so we move on to Sunday Night Slam, just spoil it, a show that I was pleasantly surprised with. Usually these shows are just you might have a match that's a feature match that's not even that long or anything, and then it's strictly build. This, I don't know if it's because it's Survivor Series and there's more to work with. It seemed like a more streamlined show that was had some good stuff to it. So it starts with the Heavenly Body versus the Smoking Guns, and this is the kind of matchup I like for both teams. I feel like this should have been the ongoing feud here for the tag belts at least. So they just work off each other well. The Body's a real sleazy team. The Guns are the more white meat babyface kind of team. So the Guns get off to a hot start, and that's where they're best at, the brawlers, the coming out angry and kind of getting their revenge kind of thing. So that was cool. Del Rey busts out a cool float over DDT what the Rock used to do, where he would swing around their arms and then come back around and DDT him. So that was a good little spot. I did have in my notes here though that Jimmy Del Rey's so pale that his tights make him look naked, because he's wearing these cold tights, and it's if you just glance for a second,
their tights are terrible. The color, that's one of the worst color. It's
yes, they don't get ever noticed, but people go back and look at this, especially Del Rey because of his skin tone or lack thereof. He just looked naked in the ring. I mean, who am I to doubt what the women want? It's not for me, I guess. So. Then Billy, the match goes on for a little bit, and then Billy gets this like cool roll up out of nowhere for the win. So I thought this, and then like Cornette obviously goes ape shit and everything. I just like the chemistry of these two teams. Like the Guns really haven't done much like to kind of wow me or anything like that, and this was something I can like point to say, okay, this is could be a starting point of something good for them, for both teams really, because the bodies kind of haven't been that involved either. So very fun match to open the show.
Yeah, they did this awesome. Smoking Guns did this awesome like slingshot over to where like I can't even describe the move, but it was really cool. There was a couple innovative stuff there. Smoking Guns, when they were doing moves together, it was good. When they were in the ring, it was a little slower. A red hot start to begin the match. This arena is very tiny. Like the way they hold the banners, like the front banner is in the way of the ring almost. Like it's just a very tiny place. Like it's just a weird setup. The only thing I dislike about it is like the pinfall just kind of comes out of nowhere. It's just like a random roll up. There's no like double teaming or anything like that. If they're feuding each other Survivor Series, there should be something to kind of lead up to some chaos, right? Like it's just like it does nothing for Survivor Series. Like this should be a match setting up the big,
That's true.
Guts and Glory. Like it should have done something, right? Like cheated Cornette, something to just do anything. Instead, it's just like a little roll up. Like they went on. The tights are just terrible. The color is just like 1970s. Like you almost expect them to come in like the high white socks with the red stripes. Like that's what you expect them to come out with, like with this color.
Yeah, like when Seinfeld flashbacks to the gym.
Yeah, right,
when
exactly.
George and Seinfeld in the gym together.
That's what they look like with the color they're wearing. So it's atrocious. So yeah, a fun match. I think the Gun this is the best the Guns have looked. Heavily Bodies always look good, but they just never look credible. They're a team that I can't believe like they're still around. Like I would have thought they were way gone as far as like in everything. Like they're in a lot of pay-per-views. They're way more than I thought. I thought, you don't think of the New Gen as Heavenly Bodies, but they've been around a lot. So we'll see if they keep on after this. But we then get a Yoko. On the version I watched had Hot Shots Basketball, which was like the greatest toy ever. So I don't know if you got that commercial.
Yes,
but I was like, yes, this is the best toy I've ever seen.
Yeah, I love that.
And then we get a Yokozuna squash. They rip on him. They say he's fatter than ever. Like Gorilla Monsoon too, who's okay, not the most fit guy in the world. Just keeps calling us like, well, he's fat again. Like they really, really pick on him for a while here. Pretty funny. Just a standard squash of Yoko. Really talk up him being afraid of caskets. Good job of bringing up another match, right? So the first match was the tag team match. This one's the Yoko Taker. And the last match is kind of the two matches, right? The Teamsters and also the main event. So besides the Doink match, this one is Sunday Slam pretty much covers all the card. We do get the long Todd promo here, a full recap of Backlund. So it's kind of disappointing that the Sunday Night Slam, it's an hour only show and they spend 10 minutes of it really pumping Survivor Series. I thought they could have squeezed a different match in here instead of this long promo. The package is actually really well done for Backlund. Like it makes him seem crazy. I liked it. It really makes him seem crazy, out of control, but also it's devastating. Like he just comes out of nowhere with these, with the chicken wing, which I love. Like I think that's an awesome, and we'll get into the main event, but I think that for Backlund is like such a cool thing. And I wish they keep it up, or I hope they do, of him just coming out of nowhere and chicken wing guys. Like that is an awesome gimmick. And his craziness. So I really like this Todd promo, kind of setting up everything for Survivor Series. I don't know if you had anything to add on those.
Yeah, no, I thought the video package was well done. It's like production is their calling card pretty much. Like they're they make movies, pal. So that was just really well done. So and then that does lead into our main event for the night. So this is like I didn't even know what was going to be on this show last episode when I was saying I hope these guys feud.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I didn't even know this was going to happen. So this was a pleasant surprise. We get Owen Hart versus the British Bulldog. So still wish it would have been like a longer feud, but at least we get this early on. So Owen comes out and he's like loosening the turnbuckle pre-match. So they even kind of like check in on that. That's a spot that I miss in wrestling. Like I wish people did that. Where they loosen the turnbuckle, get it loose for you forget about it for a while, then they go back to it 10 minutes later in the match. So some good stuff there. Great athleticism between the two. Like Bulldog's always been that like heavyweight that can actually move, and do athletic stuff instead of just like a float over or anything like that. He can just kind of keep the pace with Owen and Bret and those guys. So that was cool. Um, just a good back and forth. Like they're evenly matched, even though Bulldog's clearly bigger. Owen's got him a little bit on the speed. Eventually, Owen gets the buckle off, but it like backfired, and that led to like a big Bulldog comeback. So that was cool to see the Bulldog get fired up with the crowd behind him.
Yep.
Then you get the slingshot into the corner. I love that spot. Like that's, I don't think you really see that anymore either. I don't watch too much current wrestling, but that whole, you put your knees. I don't think it actually works in real life. I remember trying that so many times with my brother, like putting your knees on the back of their ass and trying to launch them up. But I just love that old wrestling spot.
Yeah, it's a great spot.
Yeah, into the corner. It's just really cool. Then Backlund comes in and attacks Bulldog, which brings out Bret and leads to like a great brawl to end the show. So I love when it ends with like a brawl like that, especially with these players involved. So I thought this was a pretty fun match too.
Yeah, it was a fun match. It's crazy to think about where these two guys go, right? They're a tag team in the future.
Yeah.
They feud. Like, it's just kind of a throwaway match. Like, I knew this match was happening, but it's just so random. Like, two guys that you really think of 97 and 98 together. Like, they are kind of save the tag team division. Like, it's just kind of crazy. We've mocked this on before, but taking the turnbuckle off, like it's the most painful, injury of ever. So
Right.
It's like so funny that Owen spends so much time. I think he before the match tries to do it and can't get it. So he has to go back during the match to get it. Like It's kind of funny for this like devastating move. And then I love this, the chicken wing out of nowhere. I love this as a kid. This scared me. Like you never knew when Backlund was going to come out, like just at crazed to Bulldog. So I thought that was an awesome ending. And then the crowd goes nuts for this. Like, I don't think we've seen the crowd be nuts for Backlund, right? Like, it's kind of been a little subdued, but I thought the crowd was into this. Like, when Bret came out, they were screaming for when Bulldog came in. Like, I thought the crowd really, really, really did a good job on this.
Well, think about like the chicken wing too. Like how you said you were scared as a kid. Like mostly when guys would do run-ins or anything or attack people, they were doing like a finisher that was a power bomb or a clothesline or something like that. This is a submission that you can't. It's not like a sharpshooter where you have to like lay the guy down and apply it. You can just snatch it on anybody, and you're just keeping them in pain. Like you're ripping their face, and it's vicious. It's a great whole. It's like he's like a Hannibal Lecter type or something, just coming in there and
he's crazy.
The guy's face. So I love it.
Yes, it's very well done. So pretty cool Sunday Night Slam. Like I said, I think the best thing they did was get all four of the matches except for the Doink match. Really spent time on doing it. Each segment was like 10 minutes long, so they kind of got everything. So, given it's shorter than some of the other ones we've seen in the past, I thought a pretty good job of setting up Survivor Series. Anything to add before we go to the last Raw?
No, I think we're good.
Yeah, so we got Raw the next night. So kind of crazy. We were talking about this a little bit, that it's not the normally the Raws have been just a recap of Sunday Slam. They do a fresh Raw. So this was back on November 7th, so still pretty fresh. It's the third one of the taping, but the crowd was pretty into it for that part. You get so it starts off with a random Razor Ramon being attacked. So they announced that Razor's going to fight Diesel. And this is another match where like, man, it was like almost the main event at SummerSlam. Like I'd say the third match at SummerSlam. It's just like a throwaway match of like, oh yeah, Diesel's fighting Razor. So you see Razor getting attacked. If you're tuning in, you're like, crap, this is just a setup. So kind of disappointing to see. I love that action and the idea of it, but it's like, man, I was really hoping for that big match and just nothing happens. So a cool segment to start off, but again, leaves you a little disappointed. And Vince says, I don't think the match is going to happen. So it plays to Razor as being a babyface of, hey, I'm going to fight through it and go out to it. So I do like that. Then we get to Tonka with a standard squash. I love his music. I didn't really pay attention much that it, starts with his Indian chant and then goes into $1 Million Man's music. So I do love that. Was pretty funny today. So I never noticed that before, that it kind of his music, he gets a little pop for it, and then the $1 Million Man's music turns into it. So I thought fun there. So anything you add on kind of those first two?
No, the Razor stuff was awesome. I love how like the show just kind of started with that.
Yeah.
Like he's coming out and then the whole group attacks him. So it kind of like plays into Diesel getting his team together. From what was this Action Zone or Superstars, where he's like rallying his troops. So it kind of worked. It showed that he has like an effect on his team, I guess. So that was pretty cool. Then we get another Adam Bomb squash, so they're kind of keeping him active again. And then we get yeah, this sucks. King's Court with
Oh,
the
you love it.
yeah with the littles is what I put. So um, King Court, he has all his guys in there. This sucks. Like how good Lawler was in '93 and how good he is with being so versatile, and just to stick him in this feud, it's just brought him down so many pegs. So in this, he's got his guys in the ring, and then like you see like the little clowns pop up from each side of the apron. So like Dink is under the ring with a water gun shooting, then Pink pops out, and then of course Wink pops out, and apparently like water is the equivalent to like a chair shot. So like they're squirting them with water and just selling it like you're. So like if it rains outside, these guys must like be tortured, I guess. So yeah, this was just terrible to me. Like even Lawler couldn't save this from me. I'm just so ready for this feud to be over. Even though it's had its little moments where it's kind of campy, I guess, and I can kind of get
Little
into
bits.
it. It's just drugged so far. Like I wish
Yeah.
they would have started it closer to the pay-per-view and not made it last as long, I guess.
Yeah, and like the way like Lawler gets so mad at his guys for like doing it's like it's a little water. He's like, oh, they're spitting on
Right.
me. I was like, I don't know who could spit that much. Like it's one of two things, right? It's like it's not spit. Like if it's supposed to be a water gun,
Exactly.
it's not a little dip of spit. And then I in my notes, I'm like, I can't believe they don't sell at the Silver Dome anymore. So it's like this just shows you where wrestling is falling apart. Like it's just
Right.
like it's like a water gun fight. I'm like, oh my, it was just like 10 minutes. It had to be.
Yep.
It was very long. So we get our standard IRS squash. Did you mention the video game that they play in the video game, or did I miss
Oh
that?
no.
Oh yeah, sorry. The funny thing, so they Cornette and Vince played the video game. The Royal Rumble is it Raw?
Yes, Royal Rumble.
Oh, I love this game.
Oh wait,
One
no.
of my
I think
favorites.
it is Raw. It is Raw.
Raw. Okay, yeah. But they show highlights. They do Taker versus Yoko. Yoko looks like he's like 210 in the graphics. The
That was always my gripe. Yep.
Yeah. But the graphics look, good for 94, but they look funny compared to like what you see now. But the game is, I play that all the time. I love that game. All the games I love, but this one especially with the new gen, it was definitely the new gen game. So funny there, but it was just Yoko looking so skinny and broad. We get the IRS squash. It's pretty standard in that. And they also talk about how that there's a bunch of people going to be at the Thanksgiving Day parade. They brought that up a couple times. So busy. Vince is very proud of that. We get the long report for the Survivor Series. Again, makes sense. It's 2 days away from Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
So they show a real long Backlund program or promo, which I like. And then it's weird. They do the Survivor Series promo, and in there they talk about how it's the same directors as SummerSlam, and then they literally then do a screenshot like it's a movie theater preview where it actually lists the directors. I don't know if you noticed this. The directors, Kevin Dunn is yeah. So like at the end of the promo, they basically list like it's like a movie theater, kind of like a back of a VHS back. And on there it says Kevin Dunn. I forget who else was on there, but it basically said like starring Undertaker, Shawn.
Kerwin Selfies, was he in there?
Yeah, it sounds right. Yep. He must have been one of the television guys. So yeah, it was kind of cool and different. So maybe like they were thinking a little different presentation of the way they were going to present these pay-per-views. Maybe with the Chuck Norris thing, they were trying to make it, maybe that was a tie-in with it, like to make it seem.
Yeah.
It was definitely different. It was definitely a different promo than they've had. It was definitely more of like a movie than like a sporting event. So that was kind of unique on that too. I just had to bring that up because I noticed that it was like they're like same producers as SummerSlam. It's like that's kind of weird. They don't present it as like they present it as a sport, not being like entertainment. So maybe they thought of going this way. We'll see if they keep it up. And then we got Razor versus Diesel as our main event, unless you had anything else to add.
Nope, I think I'm good.
All right. So we get Razor and Diesel as the main event. Like I said, this is the SummerSlam like third match, right, from the main event. And they kind of treat it as a throwaway, which is a little disappointing, but it really brings into the Survivor Series, right? This is going to be a big match. So I like that. It gives a lot of credence. This is what they're ending Raw with, right? Before you go to Survivor Series is this match. So good mid-card Intercontinental title match. Kind of standard Razor Diesel because they kind of were I want to say stalling, but they weren't doing much, right? It was more of a stall.
Clunky.
Yeah, it's a little clunky, and they obviously weren't going to, so they weren't building up to anything.
Right.
And then randomly in the end, about 10 minutes in, Double J gets in the ring. It's kind of funny because Razor starts beating on him, and clearly Double J missed his cue because no one went in there to help him.
Yeah.
Which was just funny. So he just starts getting beat on, and then it starts turning into this, everyone's kind of doing their moves and kind of the standard Survivor Series, like all 10 guys in the ring.
Right.
I love it.
The
I think
good
it really,
stuff.
yeah, the good stuff. Really, each kind of beating themselves down, kind of, they're not picking just the feuds or fighting in between guys. So really lives this chaotic way to leave and really builds up Survivor Series. So stuff we've loved forever and kind of ends on the right note. Again, kind of weird to use Razor and Diesel in this manner because of the way we know Diesel's going to be. I don't think Razor will feud with him. So I feel like you could have done this with someone else, but I really did like this match. And definitely the segment was great.
Yeah, I think it did. I think it served its purpose. Like it showed Razor from beginning of the show to the end, like he can come back, and it showed Diesel has his solidarity with his team. So,
yep.
Just did a good job building towards Survivor Series, which is what they were doing in this time. They weren't trying to have high quality matches on TV every week. So
it's just like you think you could do something. I think you could do something different that leads to a feud, right?
Yeah.
So that was the gripe I had. And again, this is like a bigger match. Like this feels like it should have been pumped up a lot. You know what I mean? Like it just kind of wasn't. Mm-hmm. So good. Anything else to add before we go to awards?
Nope, I think we're good.
All right. So we got most new gen outfits.
It's either Kid or I'll give it to Jarrett for kind of swinging back from that all white that he had for a while and coming back to the colorful side.
Who do I got? I'm gonna give Adam Bomb. I thought he looked good in his thing and his pyro. I'm gonna throw his pyro as part of his outfit. I don't know if that's allowed, but I'm gonna do it. Break the rules. Most new gen performer.
I'm gonna give it to the Guns this time. Like I've been shitting on them for a while, and I really liked how they looked in their match and how they came across.
I'll go the same. I thought that was their best match we've seen. They actually look like a team, and to win clean, like that never happens. So
right.
Pretty good for them. Worst match or segments?
It's got to be that Doink squash. Or no, it's got to be King's Court. Yeah, with the water guns. Yeah, it's no. Yeah, I mean Doink in general.
They're both.
But, yeah.
They're both. All right, I'll go squash. You go water guns.
Okay.
Great. Best match or segments?
It was tempting to give it to the Guns on that one, but because of like the post match, I'm gonna have to give it to Owen versus Bulldog.
Owen Bulldog. I'm gonna go the Owen Bulldog with. I'm gonna throw in that the Bob Backlund, Bret,
right?
All that stuff. That was a great ending, and really good there. And that's why it's weird they didn't go with that, like to show on Raw, like to show that match, right? It's kind of unique that they went for something different. But it's cool to not re-show things, but just kind of interesting. That was really an awesome segment. Anyone stock up?
Smoking Guns. I feel like they,
rare
for a team that was just all squash matches and not really showing anything. It might just be the pairing is perfect for them, or they could have finally clicked. But
we got Jimmy Del Rey in there, pasty Jimmy Del Rey,
exactly.
Pasty Jimmy Del Rey. You can't go wrong. But yeah, I agree. They did really good. I'm gonna go with Backlund being crazed. I thought the move got over the. Out of nowhere on Bulldog really went awesome. I also like that they, I think the crowd was really invested in him versus Bret. So I thought I'll give him some credits. Anyone stock down besides Doink?
Yokozuna.
Yoko. Okay.
I mean, even when commentary shitting on you. I mean,
with Fat Gorilla Monsoon.
Right.
Gorilla Monsoon, but he's not like the fit guy, and he's just like, this fat ass is here. Don't go. I'm just looking if there's anyone else that was really kind of. I'm gonna go Charlie Min because that's probably the NBC of him.
Nice.
So that Luna segment was bizarre. I mean, I know that's not him, but that was very weird. All right. Anything else before we call it a day? I think on the
No, I mean it's just the last pay-per-view of '94. Gonna have like the winds of change are gonna happen after the pay-per-view. So I think a lot of things are gonna start to take shape for other feuds getting built and stuff like that soon. So it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Yeah, we know it's a kind of interesting pay-per-view that the There's a big title match. There's kind of a throwaway match, but there's a lot of feuds going on in between. So we'll see if that kind of picks up and where things go from there. And then, like you said, like everything happens on Wednesday night, and by Saturday the promotion's completely changed. Right?
Oh yeah,
And
people
4
are
days later, so,
debuting, and
yeah.
I don't know if you saw the thumbnail for the next Raw.
Yeah. It'd just be
Yeah.
interesting to see like what kind of happened there, but it'll be good. It's a pay-per-view I probably don't watch a lot, probably because of the Doinks match.
Same.
And
I don't
think
remember too much of it.
and the Bret Backlund match has got, it's good. It's a good idea, but I don't like,
Yeah.
all right, I got 30 minutes for this. So it'll be good to
Exactly.
sit there and watch it. So we'll be back next time with the Survivor Series. Thus, as Bret Hart says, the Survivor Series 94. Maybe we talked about this last time. Maybe we'll give this will be our third Survivor Series in 2 full years of things. So maybe we'll give a little recap of that. So excited to talk about that one. It's been a while for Survivor Series 94, and pretty interested to see if I can give a little better watch than I have the last couple times I've watched it. So see you, everyone in 2 weeks. Thanks for listening, reading, review, and see you in 2 weeks.
Yes, sir.